What's going on, invaders? I'm Kirsty the Valkyrie, and welcome to Trashgasm, your weekly exploitation review. I'm here with Jake Noose and DJ HoDaddy, and this week we're going to be talking about the movie Eaten Alive! ! I say exclamation point because I don't want this to be confused with the 1977 Mars production movie without the exclamation point, which is pure shit.
Oh, really? I kind of looked up the synopsis on that, and it sounded kind of fun. But...
It's not. Oh, I watched it, and we might do it in the future if I hate you guys enough. So this is a 1980 Dania film release. It was also released under the names Emerald Jungle and Eaten Alive by Cannibals, in case you can't find Eaten Alive in your local video store.
What about Eaten Alive by Jaguars? Or Eaten Alive by Dinosaurs? Are those movies?
They could be.
I actually saw a clip on YouTube when I was looking up stuff for this movie, just other stuff, and there was a clip that was Eaten Alive by Dinosaurs, so maybe there is a movie.
Okay.
I will research this and find out if this is worth watching.
Wow.
So, this is a movie I actually rented years ago from Netflix when I discovered what exploitation cannibal movies were. I didn't know if I liked them yet, but I kept watching them until I decided I'm not comfortable with this, but I decided, hey, why don't we watch this together? So in this movie, we have a concerned woman and a money-hungry guide, and they descend into the jungles of southern Asia to rescue the woman's sister from a cult leader and a tribe of primitive cannibals. So, HoDaddy, what did you think of Eaten Alive! Exclamation point?
I think this movie is among my top 10 reasons I will never visit New Guinea. And I was wondering, is this the same director as Africa, Blood and Guts?
No.
Okay. Because aren't they both from Umberto's or something?
Were they Umberto's? I know Umberto did
totally
something
off.
else.
His name seemed really familiar.
Umberto Lenzi did do this.
Yeah, he did.
But I don't think he had anything to do with Africa, Blood and Guts.
But he has done other stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the biggest highlight for me was that I just loved the plot. I liked the idea of some crazy cult leader in New York shooting people with poison snake darts. I just felt like, yeah, 70s New York, that could totally happen.
Yeah.
And when the police chief or whoever it was, the FBI guy's telling her, there's this really strange happening going on where there have been 3 homicides. And I was like, 3 homicides for New York? What are you talking about? How is that
in the
strange?
70s.
And then he gets to the poison dart part, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that is weird. But it still fits. The biggest flaw for me, I think, was another helicopter rescue.
Really?
It's too damn convenient.
Was Lyle Swan in this movie?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe he was the cult leader.
Yeah, this was before he became a motorbike racer.
Right.
But overall, I enjoyed this one a lot. I gave this one 4 out of 5 fresh ear hors d'oeuvres.
Ooh.
How did you feel about this one?
For me, this movie was pretty similar to every other cannibal exploitation movie. Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Holocaust, all of them. But I felt like this one was a little more low-key, but not by much. The highlight for me, though, gore and cannibals. 2 things I love, and they're both in this movie. I was sold. The flaw for me, though, I've got 2 flaws. So, just like Africa, Blood and Guts, I have a very hard time watching animals be mutilated on screen. Even if they are lizards, it's hard to watch. And the other thing, and I've noticed this also about Cannibal Ferox, why is it that every time the scene goes from the jungle to the city, we have this really poppy disco beat?
It's the same soundtrack.
I was wondering about that.
Bump it up and up.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I guess we're excited to be back in New York City now. Let's all start dancing in our seats. Overall, though, it's a really fun movie. If you love gore, if you love cannibals, jungles, animals being torn apart, cult leaders, all of it. I give it 5 out of 5 hack job mastectomies. How about you, Jake?
I like this one a lot, more so than a lot of the other cannibal movies that I've seen, and there's particular reasons for that. Before we get into that, how I would describe this movie, if I had to compare it to anything, I'd say that this is a very good cross between The Jungle Book and Dawn of the Dead. Very good. Right on there. The highlight of this movie for me, hands down, the ending sequence. there was a lot of build-up, and the pacing for an Italian movie,
Yeah,
an Italian
it was
horror
pretty
movie,
legit.
the pacing was great, and it slowly got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the climax to it, not necessarily the last scene, but it was really brutal and horrifying. A lot of the cannibal movies are more focused on the brutality of it, not so much the horror aspect of it. And something about this one is that it was pretty horrifying. You didn't know exactly why they were doing a lot of these things, or who they were, or their full intentions as to what they were going to be accomplishing with this, but you know that there was more motives behind it. Whereas a lot of the other ones, it was just like, okay, we're the bad guys and we're going to kill and be as violent as possible. At least that was my impression from most other cannibal movies. So by far, the highlight of this movie was the climax to it, the ending scene. Not going to give away any spoilers, but they all die! No. The flaw for it, just like all other cannibal movies, and I know it's kind of similar to what you were saying, but the National Geographic aspect of it.
Yeah.
Animals eating other animals happens every single day and has happened since the dawn of time. You know, that is not something that is unnatural by any means. And the whole concept of a cannibal movie, the whole selling point of Cannibals is that it is unnatural. And so to be building up based off of something that's natural is just like, come on. Like, can't you do anything different? Like, the cult thing was great, but a snake eating a monkey, and then, like, a monkey getting eaten by something else, and, like, a bird dying, it's like...
Although that mongoose
Why?
Cobra battle was pretty intense.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another cool thing about this movie, is there's tons of cobras in this.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, though.
There's a lot of cobras, but, I don't know, you don't... That's besides the point.
Jake likes cobras.
Yeah, it was cool. Overall, though, this being one of my favorites of the cannibal movies that I've seen, I still didn't really jive all the way with it. It was the best of what I've seen. So altogether, I'd give it 3 out of 5 Cobra dildos.
Oh, that's obscene.
I'm not the one who made the Cobra dildo.
Fair enough. But you brought it up, which is disgusting.
That needs to be brought up. That was weird. That was weird. It had balls.
Yeah, can we just talk more about the Cobra dildo? I've been having a lot of issues since then.
Yeah.
Alright, so after watching this movie, I want to know from you guys, if you were a cannibal for a day, and given the chance to eat human meat, raw or cooked, what cut would you choose?
I gotta go with thigh meat.
Well, I was actually going to do thigh or calf meat too, personally, but
Well, I'd have to go the hipster route, and A, it would have to be sushi, and B, it'd have to be something gross, like brain or eye or something. So that way I could Instagram it. That's what you do in Seattle.
Yeah.
You gotta be cooler than everybody else, like the gross stuff.
we're going to get a human version of PETA after us for this.
Yeah.
Alright, so that concludes...
No! You gotta say what you're
I already
doing.
said! Thigh or calf meat!
Okay. I thought you were just...
Yeah, I'm just brushing it off. I wanted you
Okay.
guys to look like the freaks, not me. So that concludes this week of Trashgasm, and we'd like to know, if you were a cannibal for a day, what kind of meat off the human body you would want to eat. That sounded awful.
You can be a cannibal vegetarian, that's okay.
What would the substitute be?
I don't know.
Alright, we're playing along with it. So, yeah, or we'd also like movie recommendations for you. Feel free to subscribe for more Trashgasms. Tune in next week when we're going to be talking about bad biology. And until then, I'm Kirsty the Valkyrie, reminding you to keep it trashy.